from King and Country.
You would know them mostly for their wonderful music and their fantastic live shows. How about that plug?
One of which that we put right in this room.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But as of today, the movie is out. And there are a lot of things I want to ask you about the movie. Mike saw it and gave me the recommendation. I'm going to try to watch it this weekend.
Is that like a Rotten Tomatoes recommendation?
Yeah, but I didn't put any pressure on. I texted you guys.
It's the Rotten Michael
I said, I got a
recommendation.
review off microphone. And he was like, it's actually really good. And it's about your parents' lives, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And how true is it? Like on a scale of 100%?
Man, it's really true. Actually, you know what? We had this big debate about should it say inspired by or based on a true story, and we just literally pulled them out because like 90% of it really genuinely happened.
And you play your dad.
A very expensive therapy session.
That's what it felt like?
Yeah.
Did you come out of that feeling different about or having a new perspective on
100%.
the struggles or the greatness that or the difficulties your parents went through?
Man, Bobby, I've been so lazy with our parents' story because you're there. So it's this optical illusion of like Luke and I were young when we were pretty young when we moved in the 90s. And you look at it from a child perspective and you go, oh, it's just this adventure. You know, you're playing cricket in the furnitureless living room and all the rest of it. And then all of a sudden, and you fast forward 30 years, I'm roughly his age when he moved. And then you drop back into it from his perspective. I also co-wrote and co-directed it with Richard Ramsey. So you write it back out, and then you literally drop into his shoes, or more specifically his jacket, because it's literally his jacket that I wore from 30 years ago for the filming. And you go, oh my goodness, the compounding failure, the shame, the pride, the all of that he felt, my empathy for him just skyrocketed.
We mentioned it right before you came in, but the movie is called Unsung Hero. It is out today. It is the story of your parents coming from Australia. Luke, why did they move here?
Yeah. Let me give you. Yeah. So after Joel's really deep.
That was really. I was really long.
Did this the wrong way around.
We need a little context, right? Need a little context. So we're originally from Australia. Hopefully, you can still tell. It's true, you Americans have jacked up my accent, so thanks for that.
The Southern Americans specifically.
It is like dribbling out a little bit. Like I can't hear.
It's like, hey, y'all, how are you doing?
I'm so sorry. But anyway, born in Australia, our dad was a concert promoter in Australia. And on one particular tour that he brought back to Australia, the tour didn't go very well. And so we lost actually everything that we had. We lost the house, the car, the life savings. And so Dad was looking for a fresh start for the career and for the family. And he got a job offer in Nashville. And so he thought it would be a good idea to move his 6 kids and his wife, who was 6 months pregnant at the time. But soon after we arrived in Nashville, my dad lost that job. And so we're straight on the other side of the world, no friends, no family. We were sleeping on beds made out of clothes. I didn't have any way for our little sister to be born in a hospital. I weren't always quite sure where the next meal was going to come from. Didn't have a car, and the list went on. And so I've told that story, or some semblance of that story, at pretty much every For King and Country show for the last 11 or 12 years. And we've had a bunch of people come up and say, man, Luke, Joel, you guys should write a book. And the truth is, Joel and I were homeschooled, so we don't read or write very well. And so we thought maybe we should make a movie instead. I mean, it's a joke. But the heartbeat behind it is, look, I believe in the power of family. I've experienced the power of family. I think family is more important today than it ever has been in the history of the world. But we don't quite value it the way that we should. And I think a lot of people are looking to change the world, right? They want a microphone like you have, Bobby. They want influence. They want an audience. But Mother Teresa has a wonderful quote where she says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And that's kind of the purpose and the reason behind this film.
Movie Mike, would you come to the microphone for a second? And Movie Mike watches at least a movie every week, and he reviews them. He has a pretty faithful podcast following that depends on his movie
And you're
reviews.
pretty harsh, I'm told, Mike.
No, I would just say honest.
Honest.
Yeah, I also watch a lot, so it takes a lot for something to move me at this point.
And there are two kind of movies.
So you're calloused.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that's
cool.
good.
Cold.
Yeah.
There are two kinds of movies that's harder for him to watch because they could be a bit corny, or music movies.
Yeah.
Like it could be anybody, any music history, or faith-based movies because at times they run a little corny.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, not saying that about yours. Well, you didn't expect to like this movie, right?
I did not. With music-based movies, a lot of the time, they don't focus on the right part of it. You don't see all that struggle. But the difference in your movie is that's what the entire thing is. You don't really get to the music until the end.
Right.
So how did you guys kind of approach that of like, this is when we want to tell our story. nothing really about getting into For King and Country, and then your sister's career comes later.
Yeah. Man, what's crazy is we were 2 for 2 for the movies that he doesn't like. Music movies and faith movies.
And he still likes
And
it.
he still liked it.
Yeah.
How about that? Look, here's the classic issue that Luke and I had from the beginning when he approached a producer in 2020 about work on this was this cannot be a self-aggrandizing, self-indulgent movie. On any level, it can't be sort of fluffy and kitschy, and it had to be warts and all and grounded and gritty, number one. Number two, it's not our story to tell. Luke was 5 years old when we moved. I was 7. Like, we were bystanders in this epic tale of Rebecca and James and Mum and Dad and them moving continents and the miracles and, you know, all the music and all the rest of it. And so it was actually really easy. I would say easy. It was, we had the right perspective, I think, from the family to approach it in a way that not only took us out of the limelight, if you will, but put the focus on the proper spot. And that is, if it weren't for the American dream, if it weren't for the local community, if it weren't for the local church, if it weren't for our mum and our parents, and if it weren't for Rebecca and James, there would be no For King and Country. And we just wanted to tell that bit. And our 2 characters in the film, we just have little quick, quippy, silly remarks throughout the picture, you know?
Is it weird to play your dad in that? Would you like ask, is this how he would do it? Is this, did you have
I mean, we do know the guy.
Right? I know, but if you ask him, if you were to ask me, like, how would you like me to play? I'm going to give you the greatest.
No.
Like, I'm going to say, play me strong.
Andy Irwin.
It's really jacked up.
Yeah, do some curls before you get on camera.
Andy Irwin, who executive produced it, had a great piece of encouragement and advice for me before I started. He said, filmmaking is so much more about essence versus imitation. You got to focus on the essence. So my initial read on him was like, I'm just going to play him like with all of his sort of quirks and all the rest of it. And I in the end, I just went and played towards his essence. But man, it's the trippiest thing I've ever done, Bob, because you're looking like, this is baby Joel, but I'm Joel, but I'm my dad.
So somebody's playing you, it's a baby, but that's you.
Or little Joel, you know. And then this is my mum, but I have to kiss this is my wife, but I have to kiss my mum.
It's real weird.
It's my
quick.
wife.
It gets very
but
Old
it's
Testament
not.
real quick.
I mean, I'm from Arkansas. This is normal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's us. The acting, was this the most involved and invested you had to be in a role?
For sure. Yeah. I found out something really interesting the other day. We there's 7 of us kids. As my parents, we're all strong-willed. We've done life together. And so we've done a lot of creative projects. So we sent them the script before it was finished and just said, kind of, speak now, forever hold your peace. And Mum and Dad, quote unquote, read it. I found out 2 weeks ago, Dad never read the script.
They just said, we approve.
We approve.
Is it because they trusted you?
I think so.
He's a strong personality. I think he
Yeah.
knew that if he got too much into the weeds of it, that he would start sort of like manipulating the story into what he thought it should be.
Which is what I would have done. Like I said, I would have wanted it done a certain
But
way.
also, just going
Chris
back to
Hemsworth would have played
that's right.
Bobby Bone.
Thank you.
Going back to your comment there, movie Mike, is this. I think we've had a lot of people say the same thing as you. It's like, hey man, it felt authentic, it felt real, it didn't feel cheesy. I think a lot of faith-based films feel the need to intersect some things in it that don't come across super authentic. The privilege that we had is like the things that took place in this film were just real. They're actually just true. It got to the point where even in the script, there were so many bad things that they said, hey, there's so many bad things that really happened. We actually have to scale it back a little bit because it's not believable.
And there were so many miracles that happened that they said, this feels kitschy if you put this many miracles in.
I think that's part of the hope anyway, is that people just felt like, oh, they're just, whether or not you agree with our faith journey or not, this is just what happened. We would pray for things and people would give us a car. Like legit. You know, so I think that's why it came across not cheesy, because we're just telling a real story, and that was the hope.
You brought up the part about donating the car, and that was kind of a moment of where I kind of identified with it, of showing the struggles, how everybody helped you. And there's one moment where when you're playing your dad, he snaps because he doesn't want to take the charity.
Right.
Was that like a story your dad told you? Did you ask him like, hey, what exactly happened here? How could I play this?
Man, the hardest thing, movie Mike, about actually one of the hardest scenes of the whole movie was that scene. And it was with Lucas Black from Fast and Furious and 42. And he's so great in the film and was such a safe place for me to kind of work out the performance. But it was a real nuanced thing because Dad was working through so much pride and just wanting to do the right thing by his family, and it just kept getting robbed.
He wanted to
from
win.
him.
You know what I mean? He needed to win.
And then that's such a dude thing to want to, win and overcome. And so he gave me a compliment after the fact. He said, some stuff that didn't really happen, like there's a scene with the fax machine that gets demolished, and that didn't really happen. But he said, you externalized what I was actually feeling internally. And that was actually enough for me to go, okay, then I think I did my job as a son and as an actor.
How'd you feel watching yourself back?
It's been trippy. You got to understand the multiverse, right? Like I'm really close to Rebecca, our older sister. Like we lived together. I was a stage manager. I was a right-hand man. When she'd lose her voice in shows or got Bell's palsy, like I was the one back. I was her background vocalist. And so the idea of being able to lift her up in this film was really emotional to me. And there's a very pivotal scene between her and Dad.
You?
Me.
Yeah.
And I cry. It feels very self-indulgent, but I cry watching the scene. But it's not because I'm watching the scene going, gee, Joel, you did such a good job of that. I'm watching it because of the historical layers of Dad and Beck and what I know as a brother and being able to re-image this story for the world. And I think offer some kind of hopeful redemption for the journey that she was on as a young girl as well.
The first part, so Unsung Hero is out. Go watch it. You can also go to, like on socials, at Unsung Hero Movie. There's also a soundtrack to it, and you got a lot of cool artists to jump in with you. I saw Lee Bryce, Amy Grant. Is Amy Grant on the song?
Yeah.
Okay.
She is, yeah.
And
Striper's on a song.
Really?
Yeah, do you like Striper?
I remember thinking when I was a kid, wow, that's hard.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, because
I mean, their songs are called like "To Hell with the Devil."
Yeah.
and you could pick all the Christian pop bands that I would listen to back then, from Jars of Clay to the Newsboys to whatever it was. I was like, Striper, man, I don't know about that. That was hardcore. But now that I'm older, it's sonically just different.
That's right.
But same message.
There might
right.
be a little cameo from one Luke Smallbone playing one.
Oh yeah, you play one of the guys from Striper?
I play the lead singer, actually, from Striper. I like to joke that I'm such a good actor, I'm forgettable, because nobody recognizes me in the film, because I have a flowing mane. I'm in spandex. I mean, horses are jealous of the hair that I have. You know what I'm saying? And I like to think that maybe the Oscars could change their policies to where if they could give like a non-speaking role, I'd like to say I'm in the running.
Oh, you don't say anything.
Don't
then.
say
You just
anything.
show
No,
up.
I just show up.
He sings
I
"To
just
Hell
sings
with
my
the Devil."
little heart.
Did you see a movie, Mike? Did you realize it was him?
I did not know that was you.
That's him.
I'm
Didn't
such
catch
a good
it.
actor.
I was looking for you the whole time.
It was the
Didn't see it.
spandex and the
Come on now.
eyeliner.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your shows, and a lot of your shows are close to sold out. So it's not even that you need that promotion. But I have a question about your shows. So let me say, for kingandcountry.com, and it looks like they're all like international anyway that you have coming up, right? Are you guys leaving for a while?
Yeah, we're going for a month.
Going-
We
yeah,
release the
going down
movie and we
under.
say, peace out, America.
My
Literally.
question then about the shows in America: do you sell alcohol at your shows?
Well, they're at
There's
arenas,
some.
so it is whatever the arenas do.
So, but
That
you
is
don't like
such a funny question.
you don't like shut it down and go like
No.
No.
They can do whatever they want. Yeah.
Got it. So people could just, really.
I don't think we've ever been asked that before, Bobby. Well done.
We know
Well,
where
yeah, I
you're-
think that came up as like a debate
No, we
one
were
day.
talking
We're
about
like,
you guys.
Christian shows, do they have alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. You can go and do, I think, if you pay the arena enough, you could probably do a buyout. But it just doesn't make any, why would you do that?
Yeah.
If people
Yeah.
want to come and they want to have some drinks, they can have some drinks if they would want. We want people to come, You don't want to have any
We
reason
just
for
did
them not wanting
live
to come.
in the vineyard, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's an event at a vineyard, and Luke had a lovely experience with a very drunk woman singing Unsung Hero, actually, the song about our mum, the namesake of the movie. She was on the front row, and she's just loving it.
Here's a story. There's a place that I go to, and my wife and I like to go. I won't say where it is, and we go, maybe once or twice a week, and it's kind of a chill place. Sometimes we sit outside, and I see at the counter somebody from behind that was dressed exceptionally well to be at this place. And I remember thinking, who would wear these really, like, I'm talking about A+, like whatever Milan Fashion Week has that dudes wear, this person was wearing it at this place. I was like, and it was in like a long coat. I was like, I don't know who. I need to like walk around and see who it is. You know who it was? It was Joel. It was your
No.
brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, what up? And then we talked for a long time. And then I remember thinking to myself, I could never get that ready to come here. But you had it all put together.
I got dressed up for you this morning.
You had no.
It
You
was
look
actually
great
really
today,
plain,
but
so-
just on a regular Sunday, you had it all going too. I mean, all the trend,
Thank you.
the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the way Joel
The
rolls.
sad thing
you know?
about people like me is either we have it together or we just crack.
Yeah. Well, for like 20 seconds, I was inspired to dress better, but then I just put shorts on and a cutoff shirt.
Here's the
You're
optical
wearing a Jordan
illusion.
shirt today. That's a good one, though.
old
That's a
school.
vintage one right
92, 91 NBA Finals.
there. There we go.
I'm kind of in my chubby stage, so I wear oversized stuff right now.
Chubby
Is that a thing?
Stop. It's not.
You guys don't have like chubby seasons?
I mean, we
I'm in
kinda
chubby
go-
season right now.
We just kind of go with whatever we're given that day. I wouldn't necessarily say, "Look, you're looking like you're in your chubby season
you're
or your
coming
skinny
out of the
season."
winter extra layer, like the hibernation thing.
I'm still coming out of chubs, and so
I don't see it.
as I shed my snake skin, my chub skin, going up into spring and summer, I still wear a little oversized. I keep a
Oh, I
journal.
wasn't
So
making. I
sharp.
didn't say
Look,
any of
I
those
keep
things.
a journal of my weight every single day.
Bobby,
Look, boom,
you.
boom.
Well,
Amy, talk to him.
I know. I feel like you told us you were journaling like what you were eating just for
But
to know how it
Cravings.
makes you feel.
Cravings.
And
I'm doing all
cravings, but
that
you
too.
didn't say you were
I journal it
journaling your
all,
weight.
but I journal on my weight too because
I had to do that.
I have a
once.
goal. It's not that I'm just like always
What's your goal?
That's private.
Okay.
No, are you seriously
No.
doing it because you're trying to you're allergic to something and you're doing
I'm seriously doing it because I have a TV show I've got to shoot in about 3 weeks, and I know exactly what I need to weigh when I do this show to fit all the clothes that they've ordered.
No, you don't need to weigh that. You want to.
No, no.
That-
You don't
that's
need
good.
to.
No, I need
Good
to,
correction.
or they kill me
Good
when
correction.
I get there.
No, they won't.
When I get off the plane, I'm dead.
That is
Yeah.
in your.
Do you call yourself fat in the diary?
Hold on, let me look.
Oh, I hope not. I
That's
hope not.
private.
Hold on.
It is private.
Page 2. Dear diary, you're fat.
Oh my god.
Okay, the number on the
Oh,
scale
my
doesn't equal your worth.
Amen.
You're priceless.
Amen.
Right.
Amy.
Hey, well, just back to Unsung Hero, and then something I saw your cousin Matt Smallbone put up the other day. I just
Yeah.
want to read it so that people can understand the impact your family even had on your extended family. And I thought it was a beautiful full circle moment of how y'all moved here and received answered prayers and miracles from people and gifts. And then how y'all extended that to your family. Because what Matt put up was that he doubts him and his wife would have had the bravery to move to Nashville had y'all not been here first. And they were able to live for free in your house for over a year with a baby as they got their feet underneath them. He said, we didn't have enough money to contribute meaningfully towards groceries, and it never seemed to bother them. They were always just glad to have us around. They were excited to help us, I think, because a lot of people helped them when they were in the same situation.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's pretty sweet.
And I think it's actually extremely true. I'll never forget. We went to El Paso once for a show, and we would do this charitable kind of part of the night. And I remember going to El Paso. It's a historically poor place, and it's going through a lot even as we speak with the border and everything. And I was like, man, no one's going to give to this nonprofit that we're talking about. And still to this day of that tour anyway, the people were the most generous there of any other stop that we went to, and they were the poorest.
Yeah.
And so I think
my
has a-
grandmother-in-law is from El Paso. It's a tough
yeah,
town.
and I think so. He's really speaking about my parents, obviously. When you go through hardship, it's relatable to other people, and you start to see the hardship of what other people are going through. And I think Unsung Hero speaks to family, but the
Yeah.
local community and where you find yourself, that becomes your family. Those become your people, and you have all of us have a decision to make in how we impact our community. And a lot of times we find reasons not to give, and we find reasons not to be maybe overwhelmingly generous.
Yeah.
And I think our parents just at these kind of times, they just threw that playbook out. They're like, if I have something, I'm going to give it to those people.
I'd love to say this too, if I may. Like, yes, Unsung Hero it's a true story. Yes, it's a 90s film. Yes, there's some marvelous music tucked away in there, like Jesus Jones and Rod Stewart and Lenny Kravitz, the Seal, and so on. And yes, there's some great actors. There's John Locke from Lost, or Terry O'Quinn, and DJ Tanner from Full House, and Candace Cameron Bure, and Lucas Black from Fast and Furious franchise. And yes, it's about our personal experience. But what we've tried to do as musicians is the notion that we prescribe to is that the closer you get to your own heart in art, the further it reaches out into someone else's. And so I want to be clear before we wrap up. It's been so kind, Bobby, for you to have us. You said you would a year ago, and here we are.
You are a truth teller.
This film is about our family, but it's about the family. This film is about our mum, but it's really about mums. And Lionsgate has been awfully kind to put it literally on 2,800 screens across America this weekend. And there's a really small possibility that if certain chips fall in certain directions, that family and mums and miracles could be literally the number one conversation in this country today onward. And so this is a story about miracles. We see miracles behind the camera, even down to today's mum and dad's 49th wedding anniversary. And so being able to honor them simultaneously to releasing this film that's about their story. Our hope, there's a proverb that says, her children will rise and call her blessed. And that's kind of what Luke as a producer and me as a director and playing dad that we've hoped to do with this. But let the record show on the Bobby Bones show that this is so much more than our family story. There's a saying that a nation or a family can survive without a nation, but a nation can't survive without a family, and we believe it. Yeah.
Movie's out, Unsung Hero. Let me make it. Dear Diary, for King Country, nice to me today. Remember that.
Poor guy.
Closing it up.
Don't forget.
Well, the other times
I'm gonna come and give you a hug after this.
you guys go watch Unsung Hero. The soundtrack is out as of today as well, right? Fully.
That's right.
Everything
Yeah.
is good.
It is.
Yep.
Congratulations on getting to this point. That is
4 years, man.
That
Yeah, it took 4 years.
it is. Hopefully, you just enjoy right now.
We're slightly terrified.
Yes, you should be. But what I have learned is sometimes it doesn't matter what happens. You really don't enjoy it as much as you did before whatever that result is you were looking for came. Like that you're at this point right now, before any numbers are given, like you did something really cool. And hopefully you don't assign whatever the end is to whatever reason you did it for. Unless it just crushes and then I'll be in the sequel.
A sequel.
The sequel.
Still unsung.
Yeah.
You're still an unsung
mildly
hero.
sung. Mildly sung hero.
Mildly
Yes.
sung. There we go.
For King of Country, good to see you guys. Yeah,
thanks
love
for
you
having
guys.
us, guys.
And you heard it here. Get wasted for King of Country show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Let's go.
Party
Okay.
on. Just kidding. JK. Not really. Okay. Good to see you guys. Unsung Hero is out, and we'll be back.